Well, we have been told that the Braves start at 7, so.
So we should be out of here by 6:30, guys.
And I second.
Kim's like, yes.
The boss lady has spoken.
They should be, but I don't see anybody
Yeah.
public comments.
I don't think we're gonna have any public comments tonight.
No.
Debbie, you got something to say?
We're not required to take public comment.
Not required to what?
We're not required to take public comment.
Oh, that's right.
Freshly trained.
Not required, but I'm ready to go. It's true. You go.
Kick her out.
Him. I now call to order the April 22nd, 2024 Planning and Zoning Board meeting. We now have a quorum. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
I'll write this down. Motion was made by Mark Taylor, second by Tanya Bartlett, and, okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. Okay, it's unanimous. Conflict of interest statement. In accordance with North Carolina Government Ethics Act, it is the duty of every board member to avoid both conflict of interest and appearance of conflict, and are instructed to refrain from participating in any matter coming before this board if there is a conflict of interest or appearance of such conflict. If a board member has a known conflict of interest or appearance of conflict with respect to any matter coming before this board today, please identify the conflict and refrain from participating in the matter involved. Does any member of the board have a conflict of interest in any matter coming before the board today? Sorry. Is there a motion to approve the regular minutes of February 26th and March 25th, 2024? February 26th and March 25th, is that correct?
Make a motion that the minutes from February 26, 2024, and the minutes from March 25th, 2024 be approved as written.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Darrell Hall made the motion, Barry General second, and all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, signify by saying nay. It's unanimous. Okay, under old business, there is none. Under new business, case number TA 2402, text amendment to UDO Article 6.4.3, campaign signs. Staff would recommend amending Article 6.4.3 to align with the UDO language with NCGS 136.32. I will now turn it over to Andrew.
Actually, that's me, but this is a text amendment that's being brought before you guys from staff. We're requesting that article, UDO Article 6.4.3 be amended. As you know, we did have a election back in the winter, and during that time, and every time there's an election, something always comes up about campaign signs. And this year wasn't any different. We did have a lot of campaign signs here in our town. And just so you all know, there is a state statute that allows campaign signs to be located in the right-of-way of any DOT street during a campaign period. But our ordinance, and that ordinance is very specific, that statute. Basically, it says that signs in the right-of-way can't be over 6 feet, 6 square feet, or 3 by 2 or 2 by 3. And our ordinance allowed signs that were 32 square feet along several roads in our town, 21, Wagner, Old Mountain, and Tally. So that caused some problems, because I'm sure some of you all saw the larger signs. They were in the right-of-way, and they were not allowed by state statute. So what we're recommending is that here's the state statute if anyone's interested, but we're just recommending that that's basically our ordinance be brought up to that standard. We're removing that 32 square feet, and just basically the ordinance follows what the state statute says. I did do some research just to see if any other towns are doing anything different, and this seems to be very standard, that most UDOs and development ordinances are following the state statute on campaign signs. So again, this was just brought to our attention during the last election, and staff would recommend approval of these changes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just one question, more curiosity than anything. What is defined as an election period?
It's 30 days before the beginning date of one-stop early voting and ending on the 10th day after the primary or election day.
Okay, I'll now open up the public comment time. I don't think there's anyone to comment, but I still have to
I don't
do
see
that.
anyone.
Kim, did anybody send anything in, just in case? Okay, we'll now close the public comment time. Are there any any other questions from the board?
I had one reading on this was, the mowing pattern. If we have an election during a mowing pattern cycle, either DOT or us, or the town mowing, you know, do these need to be inside or outside the mowing pattern? Because I've had instances where we've moved signs because they were in the way, and I had a gentleman see me take pick one, I don't care, a donkey, you know, we moved it out of the way, and they saw us removing the sign, and then another person saw us moving the sign back and saw that we were supporting said candidate. So it's one or the other, but I didn't know if we had anything that would address that or not.
We do not.
And the state doesn't have anything about
Not to
that?
my knowledge. Mark, you may know more about that, working for DOT, but to my knowledge, the statute does not address mowing patterns.
Okay. Now, usually it's like 5 foot from the back of the ditch, but, you know, sometimes it's visibility and stuff like that. 'Cause I mean, I saw it talks about sight distance and triangles and that, but that's just something that may come up, and we'll address it when it does, I guess.
And I don't know if we can do anything different than this, honestly.
Mhm.
Yes, but the current statute does not address that.
Good to go then.
As long as it's not in blocking view,
That is
we're-
correct. Yes. And we have had that situation where some were too close to a corner, and we did have to move them back. We've had that happen.
I have seen them mowed down before.
Yep, me too. Some of our zoning signs, that happens.
A question, is there any way that we can contact the politicians and say, hey, this is a mowing pattern, don't get upset when you see a sign moved and put it back on?
I mean, if we knew how to reach out to them, I guess we could, but typically, these signs aren't something that we permit. We can't permit them, so we don't have contact information.
Okay, any other questions? Is there a motion regarding text amendment TA 24-02?
I'm recommending approval of text amendment case number TA-24-02 as presented.
Okay, is there a second?
Brent, I'm sorry, Mr. Tedder, you cannot vote. Yeah.
I'll speak for it. Second.
Sorry, I thought I was sitting up here, got carried away.
That was me last month. Oh, the month before.
Yes.
Just nudge me, I got
Okay, we have a motion by Tanya and second by Mark to approve the recommendation to approve text amendment TA 24-02 as presented. Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed signify by saying nay. It's unanimous. Okay. Is there a motion regarding consistency statement for TA 2402?
I make a motion regarding consistency of this action, that this text amendment is consistent with the 2018 strategic plan and unified development ordinance and reasonable and in the public interest as it is consistent with the goals of the Troutman strategic plan.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Tanya and a second by Darrell, and consistency statement for TA 2402. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, signify by saying nay. It's unanimous. Okay, case number TA 24-03, text amendment UDO Article 3.4.3, accessory structure residential, and UDO Article 3.4.3.1, accessory structures commercial. Staff would request that language be added to Article 3.4.3 and 3.4.3.1 addressing fence aesthetics. I will now turn it over to Lynn.
As you stated, this is a, microphone just died, a request to amend Articles 343 and 343.1 of our UDO. These articles specifically address accessory structures. 3.3 is residential accessory structures, and then 3.3.1 is commercial accessory structures. We're recommending that some language be added that looks like, from what we can tell, was in the previous UDO, but it looks like it was inadvertently left out of our current ordinance. There was something in that ordinance that basically stated that a fence, the outside of the fence had to face the inside of the property. So the finished side faced the public. This is something else that's happened recently. We've received some complaints, and we were asked to make this amendment. So that's why we're bringing it to you this evening. What we're suggesting is that a very simple statement, which we actually took straight from the old UDO, be added in section M to 343 and a section G to 3.3.1, which would read, fences shall be constructed with the finished side facing the adjacent property or street. So that should clear that up, and that would also allow us, if we do see people putting fences with the unfinished side facing out, that we could address that through code enforcement. So as staff are recommending approval. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Anyone have any questions?
I just curious, I guess, are the people who have those fences, I guess, grandfathered in, or?
They would be.
Just
It would be something that we can only enforce going forward.
Okay. I will now open the meeting for public comment. Is there anyone who would like to speak on this text amendment?
Question for you.
Please come up to the roster and state your name
Oh, yes.
and sign in, please.
Yes. Yes, my name is Anson Harrison, and Lynn Hare was speaking about the fencing. Is this for the vinyl or just the wood, does it make a difference? Because I'm on the process of having a fence erected completely, so that raises a concern for me personally.
It would be either any kind of fence, actually.
So vinyl, it doesn't make a difference?
Yes, it would, according to how it's made. If it's constructed with the post and that in the center, there wouldn't really be I don't think there'd be an outside.
The finished product, it would be on facing your adjacent property owner instead of facing you, just to, you know what I'm saying?
I follow you. The question that I'm asking is regarding the opening and the closure, meaning the hinges. The hinges, the hinge is somewhat finished or unfinished, the metal portion. So that raises a concern for me is what's going to be shown.
You're talking about the gate, like the.
Yes,
pavement,
yes.
That's just part of the fence.
Yes.
I think the only thing that we're talking about is when you've got the 2x4s that run along the inside of the back of a privacy fence to hold it together. That's the unfinished side, or and what we're suggesting is that face into the property and not face out to the public. But the handles, the hinges on the gates, that's something that is just considered part of the fence and part of the gate, so that would not be something that would be included in this language.
Okay, fantastic. I think, could I have some paperwork to be able to follow along with what's going on here? Because I haven't a clue, you know, where you issued some papers so the public can follow along, but how do we do this?
They were in the lobby.
Oh, the lobby?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
What was your name again? I'm sorry.
Oh, Anson,
What's your first name?
Anson, A-N-S-O-N.
Harrison is his last name.
Harrison, last. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, sure
Thank you
are.
so much.
Yeah,
All right, thank you.
Kim, did you get any? Okay. I will now close the public comment time. Are there any questions from the board?
I've got another question. That, address your question that you had. If a fence is in disarray and it's facing in the house versus, or in the property towards the adjacent property, at what percentage would it be where it would not be grandfathered in? Or would there be one?
I mean, that would probably fall under a nuisance ordinance, if the fence is falling down, if it is.
If a gentleman was gonna, you know, for instance, he was gonna put a fence up, and then in 10 years or whatever, it was starting to fall down, and he had to put it back up, if 50% of it was in disarray, would he go back with the original style and direction, or would he have to reverse it back to the current ordinance?
Anything new put up would have to follow the current ordinance.
Okay, so he could have it both ways in that
And I
way.
guess technically, that would be up to him as to whether or not he wanted to change the entire fence out to match, but anything new put up would have to follow the current ordinance.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. Is there a motion regarding text amendment TA 24-03?
I recommend approval of text amendment case number TA 24-03 as presented.
Okay. We have a second? Okay, we now have a motion to approve text amendment TA 2403 by Tanya and a second by Darrell. And is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Okay, we have a unanimous yay. Aye. In favor. Okay, we need a motion regarding consistency statement of TA 24-03.
I make a motion regarding consistency of this action, that this text amendment is consistent with the 2018 strategic plan and the Unified Development Ordinance and reasonable and in the public interest, as it is consistent with the goals of the Troutman strategic plan.
Okay, do we have a second? Okay, we have a motion made by Tanya, second by Darrell, regarding consistency statement of TA 2403. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Okay, we have a unanimous in favor, and other business. Okay, discussion of May Planning Board meeting date. I'll now turn it over to Andrew, I guess?
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but the date of the May Planning Board meeting is Memorial Day. So, I just wanted to open up the floor for discussion about potentially changing the date next month, and my suggestion would be just moving it 1 week earlier to May 28th. third Monday instead of the fourth Monday. Same time, same place. Anybody got any other suggestions, we can do that. I will say we've got at least 4 cases coming in front of this board next month, so the agenda will be a little bit longer than it is today, so.
Could we do the 28th instead? I actually already have something on the 20th.
Is that the Tuesday afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just double check, tomorrow, this room's availability for that date. And if that works for everybody else and we're able to.
Say what they,
The day after.
28th.
Tuesday.
I can do the 20th, I cannot be here.
I think grandson is graduating on the fourth Sunday, was that weekend, so that would be
26th.
right, so. I guess probably be back on the 28th.
Did you say you could, Mark?
I cannot make the 20th.
Okay, so we can, looks like most of us can make the 28th.
Yeah, if that's how the board would like to proceed, then we can plan on the 28th. And I'll just verify that tomorrow that the council chambers is available, but typically that late in the month, I don't think we really have any monthly meetings, so we should be fine, but I'll just double check in the morning and send out an email.
Okay.
The only thing would be if there's some type of training, night training with the PD or something.
Yeah, but we'll verify that, so we'll look at the 28th, and then tomorrow I'll probably shoot a thumbs up email.
So that's good for everybody? Okay,
Either of those, either one of those dates is fine.
okay. Sounds good. Okay, is there any, okay,
I did have one announcement that I wanted to make, but I just want to let you all know that this will be my last planning board meeting, that I have taken a job at Central Ina Council of Governments, so I'll be going down there to work. But I'm leaving you in very capable hands, and I've enjoyed working with you all. So,
Where are you going?
Central Ina Council of Governments,
Oh, okay. Where is the races?
it's in Charlotte.
Okay.
well,
They stole you from us.
well,
Congratulations.
congratulations,
Yeah.
and
We train you up and then you go away, darn it.
we'll miss you, but
Oh, yes.
we
In
wish you
fairness,
the
I
best.
think she trained us.
I think she did, don't worry. Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
we might have to get you to come up here and give us some training.
I can do that.
That's what they do.
Mhm.
This is true. This is true.
Cool.
We got an inside track on that now.
Andrew stepping up to the plate.
Well, for the time being, I guess there'll be minimal deliberation regarding staff reports.
You still talk to yourself now, so.
Oh, if I couldn't talk to myself, I'd go and say anything.
Not answered.
Press 1 and 2, both go to your office.
There, any other,
I make a motion to adjourn.
okay. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay,
Can I third?
we have a motion to adjourn by Tanya and a second by Mark. All those in favor?
Either or.
By Mark and second,
Questions, I see what took you so long.
I'm sorry, it was by Mark and second by Tanya. I got it wrote down right, I just said it wrong. Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.